This is Victor Danielle in the Hole. He is the founder and creative director of Gente. We talk about social media and modeling and moving to New York and being in New York and finding and creating community in New York. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
In the Hole.
Thank you.
You do it all. I'm so excited. Can you tell me what you started doing and how you came to New York? Like, why are you here? What was the beginning of this?
Yes.
I heard it was modeling.
Yes.
Okay.
Modeling was the whole reason I moved to New York. So I moved to Florida from Venezuela when I was around 14. I did high school there and I started college public relations, but I never finished because I started modeling. And I was like, actually, this is what I want to do. And then it just got to a point where I decided to move to New York City to challenge myself and find my dream as a model here in New York City. So I've been here for almost 3 years. But then I just got to a point where I wasn't doing as much stuff as I wanted to with modeling. So I kind of had to pivot into another direction. And I've always been a person that I'm very creative and I have many interests in art, in like community-based things, teaching and writing and photography. So I was like, I feel like modeling it's not allowing me to express myself in all of those ways that I want to. It was a long process of trying to discover myself and what is exactly something that I can do that embodies all of that and encompasses all of that I like. But then naturally at work, it just happened that I started working more on events. So I decided to go back to school for event production and event management. As I was doing event production and event management, I started getting more and more ideas of creating some sort of event, some sort of community. And that's how Gente was born. I've always been surrounded by a lot of creative people. A lot of my friends are filmmakers and fashion designers and a lot of people that are starting out and that are younger on the art world here in New York. And I feel like I've seen them, how they struggle to find opportunities or to connect with other people, especially in the Latino community when you want to give out your idea, but maybe you don't feel like you're exactly giving your idea because you're explaining it in another language that is not your first language. So it's always harder to connect with other people because I guess us Latinos that are Spanish is our first language, we just feel more of ourselves when we speak Spanish. So I was like, I think there is a need for a space to connect and to find other opportunities in the Latino community that are Spanish based, that that you can go there and tell your idea and connect with other people in Spanish. And I was like, I think there's a lack of that. Where can I find that? I was like, then I'll do it. And as I was studying the event management, my brain was just like creating more and more ideas about like, oh, I can do this or I can do that. So every homework that I had to do, which was create an event for 100 people and do this and this and that, I would just tie it back to Gente. And I was like, I'm creating just a portfolio of now different events that I can do in the future. And so I was doing 2-in-1. I was doing homework and also creating my project at the same time. I put it as a goal to have Gente, a networking event for spring or summer of 2026. And I was studying back in 2025. But then I said, if I want to do my first networking event in 2026, in like summer, spring, that means that before that, I have to go through a process of people getting to know what Gente is about. How can I do that? Like, okay, I will have to go into social media and I would have to kind of present the project so that way when I launch my first event, people know about it and I can ensure that some people will actually show up or for me to have an estimate of how many people could go. But then before I start that social media, then I would need to create all the branding, all the logo and give this brand a personality that people can connect to. And if I want to do that, then I would have to start today. and it's just when I said, okay, I have to start this week and find a graphic designer and find someone to help me with my branding this week, from there I never stopped. From there it was like, okay, it was meeting, it was like picking colors and logos. When it came to the Instagram and how I was gonna show Gente on social media, I wasn't really sure like what to post before that first networking event. And I was like, okay, if the whole point for the networking events that we're gonna have for Gente is to have people connect, people meet in these events, show visibility of people's work and their art, then that is exactly what I have to do on Instagram. I have to start introducing these artists that I would like to go and to connect with on the networking events. I'm gonna do like a little interview series for them on Instagram. We've already done Gente 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and 5 will be out soon as well. Also, our first networking event is going to be May 23rd here in Bushwick. So everyone is invited. And it's very exciting. Yeah, very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. It sounds like you really hit the ground running, and that there was a lot of, maybe this is too strong of a term, but like a learning curve. You had to build a brand identity while learning how important and crucial brand identity would be, especially in a time when social media marketing is evolving very quickly and becoming extremely important. Even like Coca-Cola is learning it's important to like comment and be in the comment section. Like it's growing in kind of a big way. How did you approach? Did you just like reach out to whoever you knew did design, or like did you ask friends, or did you?
I first reached out to friends and family that I knew that worked in the branding. I wasn't as convinced with their work. So I started reaching out other people that I found on Instagram as well. For a week, I was just stalking different designers, and I made sure all my feed was like different designers, and I actually found one that's in Spain. He's in Spain, but he's Venezuelan.
Okay.
Just as I am as well. So I kind of felt a connection. I wrote him an email, and I really like his work. It was like very fun and colorful. So I was like, I think he would get it. And I wrote him an email with all the idea and the Pinterest mood board that I had. And he fell in love with it. He was like, I've been wanting a project like this. I've been wanting to work in something like this with this vibe. Like, I'm here for you. What do you want to do? When I saw that excitement out of him in just like, I don't know, an email that I sent him and the mood board, I was like, okay, I have to work with this guy. He's going to put that excitement into creating something that is very memorable, which is exactly what I need for him to be memorable.
Social media marketing can seem sort of flat from an outside perspective, and you're doing a lot to make sure that the branding is authentic and the content being put out is authentic. In the same way that I can get dressed in the morning to show a certain side of myself, but the goal is to show the true side of yourself, but there is kind of a performance aspect there.
Yes. I feel like I'm making things very, I would say, to my liking. If I didn't know Gente, right, and I was looking at Gente Instagram for the first time, for me to understand it, what would that look like? So I'm putting myself in the perspective of another person that has never heard of Gente. So that way I can put something that is easy to understand, but at the same way, it's editorial and fun and a little bit of mysterious as well. Also, I knew from the beginning that I didn't want to fall into that marketing and social media strategy of you have to post 3 posts every week and you have to do 3 reels and 2 posts and lives and everything so you can. I'm like, okay, I don't need to explode in my first month. Like, I'm not trying to go viral on my first year because that's gonna give me more work. I want to, whenever I have to do a post, I will do it. Whenever I don't have anything to post, then I don't have anything to post. I feel like on people it has created more an excitement of, when are they gonna post again? Because we don't post that often, just every once in a while, and it's very like important and very thought out information. It's not like, I'm just posting to post. If I don't have anything of value that I need to share, then I won't do it.
It's events, it's interviews, and then is it also a publication? Like, is it a physical piece, or it's just digital, right?
Yeah,
it's digital and then events.
It's digital and in person.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, I divide Gente in 3 phases. It is gonna be the digital part, which are the interviews, which connects to one of our values, which is visibility. Our other value is community. So that value, it's when the networking events enter. Now, the networking events is just one, like the beginning of what Gente would be in the future. This is more to introduce it to the community for people to connect. The whole point of Gente is to create more and more events towards the Latino community in the creative field. This would mean movie screenings, like short film screening made by Latinos, or small fashion shows by Latino designers. So it would be a series of different type of events in the creative field made by Gente. But that is in the future. We're starting off with the networking events.
Okay, great. I know you said that you don't intend to get viral as soon as possible. I know that a lot of people on social media are also starting to learn that getting viral isn't actually helpful because it brings you a lot of people, but it doesn't bring you a lot of people that are connected and will keep in touch with things.
Correct.
But do you have like a goal as far as like how many events do you want to have for the end of the year? Do you see what, like, do you have the vision of what this is like in 5 years? Like, do you know where we're headed?
Yes. Or I don't know where I'm headed, but I know what I'm working towards. I don't know how quick am I gonna get there, but I know that I do have a plan. I would have to see how this first event in May 23rd goes and how people interact and just the overall success of the event to see how or when to do another one. I would like for these events to be like every 3 months is when I see it happening. But I also see Gente in 5 years, for example. I see it becoming so many different things. Like I couldn't tell you just one right now, because with the purpose and the mission of Gente, of connecting Latino creatives in New York City, meeting so many people in many different creative fields, it will give me so many things that I can work with. Like I can become a publication, like a Gente magazine. I could do like bigger events. I could become a production house. So many things that I couldn't tell you right now which exactly I'm gonna be, but that I would like to become that for sure.
Yeah.
And as far as like going viral, like you said, I don't need to reach everyone. I just need to reach the right people. Gente, I think it is open to all creatives, open to Latinos, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of curated. I feel like I have handpicked people to do these interviews, people that are in different fields, people that are from different countries, people that I know who have they worked with before, or who would they want to work, to make sure that this reaches the right kind of audience. Also because I feel like when you say creative, it could be very open. There's a lot of people that would consider themselves creatives of many different fields. So I don't know if it's like a fine line of, okay, then who's creative and who's not? Like who can go to these events and not? The answer is really everyone that is trying to start in a creative field and in the art scene in New York, or that it's already been working on this and is looking for people to include in their team or to work with or to get a fresh view out of them as well.
And this goes back to the importance of making sure the branding is correct and the social media things you were putting out is correct, because something can be for everyone without being for anybody. Part of coming to New York is like having the expectation of all of this beauty and creativity and energy, and there's spaces and people are dancing, and like it's the city that never sleeps, and there's all this creativity. And maybe this is just my perception, but it feels like New York is this place that people would anticipate something like Gente already exists here, but it doesn't, and you're filling that and you're doing that. Like, what was it like coming here and being like, there's like people aren't dancing, there's not these like in-person like creative thing. I'm sure that COVID made a difference, but like they don't have that. You're inventing something new.
I did think when I came to New York, I felt like the Latino essence and community, you can see it, but it doesn't feel the same way as back home or even Florida. Because obviously Florida, it's full of Latinos, and it's full of Latinos that moved recently, that moved when they were already adults or they were teenagers. So it just feels different. I would say like the Latino community here feels different than it feels back in our country and it feels back in Florida, just because it's a city that has so many different elements, so many different cultures, that I feel like at some point they start connecting. They start like merging into one. And now it's not like one specific type of Latino. It's like, oh, the Latinos here is just a mix of all the Latino communities. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. No, I would agree with that. I think there's also something about that in like, frankly, like the white perception of an out group. Like my family's from Hong Kong and we're Chinese. In certain spaces, all of the Asians are just Asian. Like it becomes all one thing, and they're like they erase the separation. And I think in certain places there's value in that. There's something to be said about like the Latino experience as a whole because of the way that it's perceived. But the experience of being like Puerto Rican specifically, or even just the difference between like being raised in Puerto Rico and then coming here versus like being like New York Puerto Rican, like those are two very distinct experiences too. Different. So making this group of like all Latinos, there's benefits like in something like Gente, but then like it does get a little flattened by the outside.
Also, obviously, as I was creating Gente, I did my research on, okay, are these networking events happening? Like, I know there are networking events for filmmakers, and there are networking events for creative people in New York City. But I was like, are these in Spanish? Like, can I go here and speak Spanish? I would say I have been to a couple of these networking events just for me to know, like, oh, let me see what they're doing. How do they do it? Let me learn from this experience. And I always found myself like trying to listen, like, who speaks Spanish? Like, who speaks Spanish here, so I can like go up to them.
Yes.
And I speak English. Like, I can speak to anyone. But I'm like, I just want to talk in Spanish.
I went to a international boarding school, and there were kids from all different countries, and a lot of people spoke about how like they were funnier in their native language, or funnier in English, and they didn't know why, or like they were. I think the majority was like people are more shy when they're speaking a new language. I would rather pitch my ideas in English because it's hard enough to be articulate when I'm already like native speaking. I mean, like eloquence takes you very far in the creative realm. In order to like pitch an idea and get a room to back you with resources or time or energy or trust your concept, you need to be able to like translate an idea and like get it to spark something in them like it sparked in you, like that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Even like I think preparing for today, that I'm like, I don't think I've spoke about Gente in English.
Yeah.
Like all the terminology that I use, all of the values and everything is in my head in Spanish. So I'm like, wait, I have to make sure I know how to talk about this in English.
Yeah.
That is like in a way that sounds like natural and it just flows.
Yeah, or is even just like being as accurate as possible. I mean,
Correct.
Even something like the word visibility is like the perfect word for this thing. But even if I'm only in English, like I would be like, well, is it visibility or is it awareness or is it like there are so many different ways to say one thing, even in one language. I talk about this all the time, like the word good means something different to different people. For some people, they were raised with good being like, if you do a good job, you're good. For some people, good wasn't good enough. So the word has like a negative connotation because their parents wanted them to be perfect.
Right.
For some kids, perfect is not, maybe doesn't have so much weight, but to other kids, and you know, like maybe a stereotypical, like you need to be playing the piano, you need to do perfect, like a very strict parenting system, then the word perfect has all of this different energy. So then years down the line, if I'm pitching something and I'm like, it's going to be perfect, to some people that might like hurt an old wound, and to other people they're like, it's going to be perfect, this is great. Even a arguably simple word like good or okay can mean like so many different things. The language barrier, I think, especially happening in New York, is pretty frightening. Like there are tons of Latino people here. There should be like lots of groups. There should be like 7 groups just for like short films specifically that are Spanish speaking.
Right.
Like that should exist.
Right.
What are you doing, not outside of Gente necessarily, but like what do you do in your life to make time for work and having like individual pursuits of modeling while also like being a founder and being a manager of all of the different moving parts of Gente in the early stages, which is arguably the hardest, or at least hard in a very specific way?
Yeah. So I work at a hotel. Thankfully, my job does give me a lot of flexibility on my schedule. And when I started with Gente, my off days kind of just became not so off. I would just start working with Gente. And I just started treating Gente as, I don't want to say a second job, but just a project that I'm excited to work on right after work. Going right after work into editing or into this Zoom call that I have with a designer, or that I have to go interview something and shoot something. I'm working very closely with my roommate and friend Pamela. She's a filmmaker from the Dominican Republic, and she did an interview for Gente, and she is also our director for their interviews and all the visuals that we do on social media. And I think we have inspired each other, like her connecting with the project and me learning more about her work. And starting this project and working together has kind of inspired us into being more creative and doing even more things outside of Gente. For example, right now, Pamela is directing a music video, and she's working on that. And she was like, do you want to be my assistant director for this video? I'm like, of course. So what do I have to do? Like, teach me, please. Creating something always creates more opportunities, and always there's some things that just come to you, and more work and more creativity and ideas that come to you while you're being creative. So I do find myself right now working in so many different things. I'm like working with Gente, and I'm working on this music video, and then recently I did a photo shoot for a skincare campaign, and that was like very out of nowhere because I am not actively looking for modeling stuff, but every once in a while, if I see something that I wanted to submit, then I was like, yeah, I'll submit, why not? And then I got it, and I was like, all right, then let's do this, why not? Like I said, I like to keep myself busy with things that I like. I like to keep myself busy with stuff that brings me joy, and just make me feel like very full at heart.
The modeling thing, like, because you planted this seed so long ago, things can bloom sort of like more sporadically. There's something to be said about like not pushing 100% of the time, because it would be draining if you're just applying to anything possible all the time. And this is sort of similar to like with Gente, like the goal is to connect with the right people. In the same way, I think modeling is a really good example of like, just because people don't get a gig, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that it wasn't the correct match for that opportunity.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that is something that's a big lesson that you learn with modeling and in the creative world in general, that you cannot take anything personal. Like when you heard a no after an audition and a casting call, it wasn't because of you. It wasn't because you are not you're not a good model, but it's because you don't have the look that they're looking for that exact project. Like we're talking about this creative director, this fashion designer, this photographer already has a very clear idea of what he wants or she wants this to look like. And if you don't fit into that, then that's not your fault, right? Like bad luck, you just have to find the right one that they're looking for, someone that looks exactly like you. So making that disconnection of, was it my fault, or like, is it about me, or it's just because it wasn't for me? It's very important to have that, so that way you can continue to keep pursuing it. Because if you just think it's you, then at some point you're just gonna get tired of it, and you don't know that, oh, that next opportunity or the opportunity that you're looking for might be the next one that you go to.
Yeah. Knowing that lesson and learning it and kind of finding peace with that in yourself helps you have the wherewithal to choose the right people for like projects like Gente. Like if you were so worried about hurting someone, making them feel like the wrong designer for the thing, then it wouldn't have allowed you to search to the point of finding the good match. You said that Pamela asked you like to be assistant director. Your answer is yes, like teach me, like you need to like learn this thing, but the answer is absolutely yes. Like what is that like?
Well, first of all, my answer was absolutely yes, because I wanted to be part of this project, and she helps me so much into Gente, and she puts so much work and time into this, that for me this is a way of giving back to her. And it's like, okay, you're helping me with my project, and you're even like making it your own thing. Now I have to help you grow. And that is the whole point of Gente. The whole point of Gente is connecting people that want to collaborate, and while you go up, I help you go up. And we're creating something together, so that way now you can have something in your portfolio and I can have something as well, and we can just create something. So yeah, I was like, yes, I will do it. And what does that mean? Like, what does that entail? Can you give me a list of things that I need to learn how to do?
Yeah.
Thankfully, being assistant director for this project means creating a schedule for the shooting, and the locations that we're gonna work at what time we have to be at which locations, if we have to be at sunset, if it has to be at night, then what's the time that it takes to get to one location to the other one, when are we gonna have a break, the list of materials and equipment that we need, charging the stuff, all of this. And I feel like I'm perfect for that role, honestly, because I'm a very organized person, and I love time management, and I'm very good at that. So we haven't had the shooting days yet, but we did a test shoot, which means we just go to the locations that we're planning on filming at the times that we're planning on filming, just to make sure that we first are able to record there, because these are public spaces, that the light is good, what camera are we gonna use, does this like work, this doesn't work. And we did that, and I was like writing everything. I was like, okay, we left the place by this time, this is how much this is how long it took us to get here from here, we took this bus, we took this train. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I was like, can we do it again? I told Pamela, I was like, I I see myself in the future working in more productions like this and working in more projects done by Gente. Like music videos and short films and stuff that are produced by Gente, because I'm gonna meet so many people that work in that production and are the different types of people that you need. You need a photographer, and you need a makeup artist, and you need a set designer, and you need an art editor. You need all of these people to be part of a project like this, that I'm like, I do feel like I see myself doing this. So I'm always thinking of like, okay, what can I do next? Or what's gonna be my new passion? I am a person that likes to try different stuff, and that I'm not very closed off with one thing. When I moved here for modeling, I came very open-minded. I was like, if it doesn't work out, I'm not going back to Florida. I'm open to finding a new passion, to finding something that I'm like, I didn't know I like this. Maybe I can start on this now. And I think I'm in the process of that too with Gente.
Yeah. When you decided to come to New York, had you been before? Like, did you know that it was right for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I came to New York once before that. I came with a friend, and the city was just calling me. It was just calling me, and I feel like that's what everybody says when they talk about New York. It was just for me, made for me. But it just felt like that. It felt very inviting, and it felt very intriguing as well. And with that best friend that I came with, she's a journalist, and she was planning on moving here to New York with me, but she actually found a better opportunity back in DC. So the same day that she moved to DC, I moved to New York City.
Oh, okay. So great.
We just parted ways, and I was like, I'll wait for you in New York.
What is Gente?
Gente. So Gente is a platform for Latino artists and creatives. So any person that works in a production set, such as filmmakers, makeup artists, photographers, but also on the side of artists and writers and people that do poetry. So any kind of people that do art and do creative stuff, this is a platform for them to connect, to also give visibility to their work, show to the world and to the Latino community what they're doing and what they can offer to the creative world in New York City. Our platform, it's all Spanish based, because one of our things is that we want to make that connection stronger using our first language, Spanish. It is very important for us to have everything in Spanish and do all of our events in Spanish, so that way people could connect more and make it easier for them to explain their ideas and their art. Gente does feature interviews for small emerging artists, and also for artists that have done already important work in the creative field. And we're also doing networking events for people to connect and growing from there.
Yeah.
Seeing where it takes us.
That's so exciting. And so I'm assuming once this first event happens on the 23rd, you will be getting a lot of feedback about like what was working, what wasn't working. Probably similar to like book club, there's probably a lot of people that will have wanted to make it and then couldn't for some reason, and you'll be attending the next one. So that'll all be like a really exciting part of the process.
Yeah, it's almost like an experiment to do this first event. It's for me to know, okay, what kind of people are coming, what are people thinking, are people connecting, what is the event missing, what is something that I would need to do different for the next one, what is something that I would need to include, is this space good enough, is it big enough, is it too small. I would like to have that kind of problem for a lot of people to show up and be like, oh my god, how am I fitting all these people here? I don't want to make the events too close to each other, so that way, because I feel like if there's a networking event every week, then people are like, oh, I'll go to the next one. Oh, I'll go next week.
That's definitely true.
So if I make it every 3 months, 4 months, then people will be like, okay, I can't miss this one because then the next one, I don't know when it's going to be. And I will concentrate all the people into one. Also because production, like if I want them to connect to create a project takes time to build. Like it takes 3 to 4 months, 6 months, a year to build a project. So I want them to have that time in between to be able to connect and create something. And maybe the next time that they come to the event, they already have a project created that was born at one of our events at Gente. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think considering it an experiment is very helpful. A lot of creatives have paralysis over needing something to be perfect, and there's so much pressure to be amazing as early as possible. So just to know that it is an ever evolving thing too.
Yeah.
Like you will be getting feedback on how to make events better for events happening 10 years from now. Like there will always be evolution there. So knowing that is really great.
Yeah,
That's very exciting.
and adapting to the artist's needs, to what they're looking for. So maybe, oh, I wish this was different, or this gave me a hard time to connect, or this was really good and it helped me. I just have to be very aware. I feel like at this event, I'm going to work as the connector because I'm going to meet a couple people and I'm going to know a couple people that are there. So I have to work as a connector of like, ooh, he does this and she does that.
Oh yeah.
Connect.
Yeah, like you wrote a screenplay, you need
right,
someone to choreograph.
I have to be that bridge between that people, and that bridge is Gente as well.
Yeah. It sounds like you said you need to be aware and like you have to make sure that you're keeping in mind all of these people. Some of that is just like natural. Like I don't have to have like a list of all of my friends and what they do. That's something you kind of just know. But there is a lot of awareness and sensitivity to remember how to be the bridge and like make sure you're fostering as much connection as you can where possible and like seeing those opportunities around you all the time. And I guess on a greater scale, like you say you're a very organized person, like do you ever get overwhelmed? And if so, how do you combat that? Because I know staying booked is very important. Staying busy is very important. I think a lot of people can resonate with that. How do you manage being overwhelmed?
Oh, I don't think I manage. The first thing I can think of was like very recently we had an interview for Gente and we had a schedule of what the time was and everything, and I had the venue like for where we do the recordings and everything, and we had a set time and this creative never showed up, and it was in like 2 hours later that I'm able to call them and they're like, I thought it was like in 2 hours. And I'm like, no, you were supposed to be here 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the examples of like my whole day just felt like, so now what do I do? And I was very overwhelmed with the feeling of I lost my time, with the feeling of like, okay, I have to put so many things together. Like I have to get a venue and I have to get my camera set up and I have to create a contract to send to you, and then you don't show up. I was very stressed and I just felt very disrespected. And I feel like at that point, I was like, okay, if this happened, then I have to make sure I do something to make myself feel better today. So I was like, okay, I'm already out here. I already have my camera. So let me create some content. I'm already here in the street. So let me think what I can do to make myself feel better. So I guess in times where I feel overwhelmed, I stop and I'm like, okay, I don't feel good. Can I pause this problem and work on something else to kind of make myself feel better that there's something that is working. And then I'll worry about what's not working later.
Yeah.
Like I'll put you to the side and just for my mental health, let me make sure that I'm doing something that it's working and that I feel I'm doing some progress on something. to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think like knowing like, okay, well now we just need to make sure we call people the hour before or something to make sure they know. Like making sure that there's like, we have a resolution, but in the meantime, like if something can be made fruitful, which I think it almost always can.
Yeah.
Like especially in a city like New York, like if I've gone all the way out, like, and I'm deep in the Bronx and I'm far away from home, like there's probably an event there or something around there that I don't normally have access to if I've like gone out of my way, or if I lost a lot of time on the train, like I can like write on the train ride back. For me, it's a matter of just like accepting that time can be lost sometimes, because like for something like this, it's like I lost 2 hours. Like 2 hours is a lot of time. You can finish a lot of work in 2 hours. You can do like 2 hours today is the difference between this interview happening or not. You know what I mean? Like 2 hours is a big difference. And I think knowing that there's a fine balance between being in this time of our lives and knowing that like every hour is important, and also knowing that like hours will not be what you expect them to be, and it will be okay, and it can be fruitful in a new way.
Yeah, and like you said before, I think everything is part of a learning process. Like you said, well, then I know next time I have to call them an hour before.
Yeah.
You start pinpointing of like, okay, what do I need to do different? What do I need to add? What extra process or extra filter do I need to add to this to make it more efficient? Because, and that's going to happen with the event too. Like the whole point is to make things more efficient to your convenience and to the convenience of whoever you're interviewing or whoever the artist is, and make everything feel more smooth.
Yeah. America is very obsessed with the idea of optimization whenever it can. And this is a little bit different because it's actually just, you know, I could use AI and like search like Latino graphic designers near me, or you could like reach out to your network, or the fastest thing is actually just like go to like a Gente event and leave knowing someone.
Yeah.
Like that is the best thing that we can set ourselves up to do.
For sure.
I would like to ask you if you have 3 recommendations for something for people to consume. This could actually even be books, movies, TV shows, plays. It could be a restaurant that inspired you. It could be anything.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anything you like interacted with and absorbed recently, or not even recently, something that like had impact.
So since I started with Gente, I've been wanting to consume more Latin American content and content made by Latinos. So I've made it homework to watch Latino created movies. Recently on Netflix, I watched Nobody Knows I'm Here. I watched it like 2 days ago actually. And it's this movie from Chile. I recommend it a lot. It's like a drama, I would say drama thriller. And it's about this kid that always wanted to be a singer and a star, but it didn't work the way he wanted, and now he lives in a very small little town and nobody knows he's there. I would recommend this Dominican singer. Her name is Letón Pé, and she I think she's not as big as she should be, and I think she will have her moment. She's actually coming to New York for a small concert in like 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm going with my friends, and I'm so excited to see her. I discovered her through a friend that I'm going to the concert not too long ago, and I've just been obsessed with her. I've been obsessed with her content, with her music, and her style. I think it's very Gente, and I'm like, I would kind of want to direct a music video for her sometime. And my third one, I've been trying to consume also a lot of media, like physical media rather than digital. So I started buying magazines, and also I subscribed myself into the New Yorker. But one of the magazines that I bought not too long ago was for Monocle, and it's for entrepreneurs. So this magazine is full of mostly young people that just started new projects, and it talks about how they started with the idea, how these are startup companies, and how it has grown over time. And it's just so inspiring to read the magazine, not only for their stories, but also because it's like really, really good ideas, and it goes from like technology to hospitality to fashion to everything you can imagine of, and it touches a lot of different countries. This one that I bought, it's more focused on Mexico. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I can consume more Latin American media. And it talks about Mexico and the region of Oaxaca and how they have become this hospitality and artistic destination, and how it's kind of like still a hidden gem, which I recently thought hidden gems should remain hidden gems. Through social media, TikToks, and influencers, nothing's a secret anymore, and we have to bring gatekeeping more. Except for artists. Artists, get your work out there. But like for restaurants and places, I think it's nice to sometimes just know about something that nobody else knows about.
Yeah.
Just like this little place or this little barbershop that you like, or this little bakery. Sometimes if it goes viral, like it loses its magic.
There's definitely a fine line. Some things, like you said, what's the singer you recommended?
Letón Pé.
Yeah, like should be bigger than she is.
Right.
There's things like that, and then other places it's like they've actually reached too many people. Like they need to just do their right people. Letón Pé, like she's not. There's people that she would connect with really well that don't know about her. So it's like we need more awareness, and then also for people to engage with the thing that's right for them more.
So yeah, I guess it is a fine line.
Because like I want like a little cafe to succeed for sure.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be like what you said, like TikTok will like overwhelm a place beyond what they intended to connect with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know how maybe that could be fixed? I think we need to go back to the times where you cannot rely just on social media to spread a word about something.
I thought about this yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I've been thinking, so I like to delete Instagram and my social media for like a week until I need to download it again because I need to post something. We need to go back to the times where you just putting flyers out in the wild and just like handing out flyers to your event and getting the word out there. My thing, it's more about social media, but social media, it is so helpful.
It is,
like,
yeah.
I know it has helped so many people, so many businesses, so many singers to show their work. It is a, how do you say, double-edged sword?
Double-edged sword, yeah.
So you just have to be very careful. It all has its good and bad. You need to know how to balance it. But I would love for artists and projects, restaurants, to rely less on social media. But unfortunately, we do live in an age that if you're not on social media, if your restaurant doesn't have an Instagram, it's like, are you really out there?
Yeah, sometimes, because right now it's like because it exists, you have to take advantage of the tool. But sometimes I'm like, I actually just wish I wish it was banned for non-individuals. But then like it is really helpful when a cafe near me says like, oh, we're having a singer come. Like if you get a cafe, like if you get a coffee, you get to see this like local artist. That is really helpful. But it's like it needs to not exist at all, or it exists the way that it does, or it needs to like be banned. But yeah,
it's complicated.
It's
complex.
It's complicated. I do think that there is a world in which it gets banned and then everyone does flyers again. And then
just word of mouth.
This is sort of what you were saying about like putting things out on social media more sporadically, because if they're too frequent, you're not paying attention. Like I also think in this world, we would look at the flyers on the telephone pole more. We would listen to the people trying to hand stuff out more, because I would know this is my only source of knowing about things on this street. My final thing is, what would you give to the people as advice?
I think my advice to people, I don't know, it feels weird for me to give advice because I'm so new. I'm like, okay.
Or even just what's working for you, because it sounds like you did a lot right to be successful so quickly in your journey of...
I think my advice is to start doing something on your free time or after work, a small little thing that is working towards your project. That could be as simple as creating a Pinterest board. That could be as simple as start following other creatives that you like or people that you would like to connect. Start following them. Go on Amazon or go to a library and find a book that kind of connects to what you want to do. Like, do small little tasks that will get you inspired, because I personally find myself that whenever I start working on something that's small, I just want to keep going. And I'm like, okay, now I want to do something else. Now I want to do something else. And by the end of 1 month, then you're like, oh, I actually did work on my project, or I actually did work on myself by doing this, and that. I think little steps.
Mm-hmm. Set achievable milestones to like perpetuate progress.
Correct. Yeah, if you feel like, oh, my project is too big, I think something that I did with Gente is I started working backwards. Mm-hmm. If your plan is massive, it's too huge, and you feel like this is delusional, stop and be like, okay, but before I get to step number 10, what's step 9? Mm-hmm. What's 8? What's 7? What's 6? Mm-hmm. What's step 1? Step 1 might be just contacting your neighbor and asking for them if you could use their camera. Mm-hmm. Like, step 1 could be so simple that it's done in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I think that's absolutely true. Even in my, even newer than Gente, like my pursuit of In the Hole, I picked up like a babysitting gig to like buy microphones, but I don't think I would have done that until I did the little thing of like asking my friends if I could. And everyone has said yes to an interview. Everyone has been helping.
I think that's also a great point, that even in the very early stages of where Gente is right now, it has gotten so big of an engagement, and people really connect to the project. With only a few posts that we've done and 3 interviews that we posted, people get the idea and people want to be part of it. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. There was one day that I decided to send a bunch of emails and Instagram DMs of different people that I want them to interview them, and we're talking about people that have like 10,000 followers or more. So I'm like, if they respond, good. If they don't, then that's fine. And to my surprise, so many of them were like, yes, I'm interested. I would love to be part of this. And I'm like, okay, that actually worked. So now when am I going to film all of this?
It reassures the mission, and it forces things to move forward.
Yes.
Because it like puts urgency on it. I think there's
Correct.
definitely something to be said. And this is what you said earlier. You said like, I'll help someone with their project and they'll help me with mine. And I think it sounds the same, but it's very different than like, I help you, you help me, like we'll do each other favors. It's like, I believe in your dream and you believe in mine, and by belief in each other and reassuring each other to have faith in our pursuits, not just like, okay, I'll let you borrow my camera if we have some sort of a tit for tat.
And it feels great to be forced to move forward more quickly. When just like your project now entails more and more time from you, and you're like, okay, this is moving a little bit quicker than I thought it would, or like I wasn't planning on having to do this, but now I kind of have to and have it ready. It is such a good feeling. It is a good feeling of like, okay, I have to grow up. Like, I have to put my pants on and go, because this started.
That's very exciting. My final thing is, where can we find you?
So you can find Gente on Instagram, TikTok as gente.nyc. Our first event is going to be May 23rd. It's going to be from 5 to 9 p.m. in Bushwick, in Selva, it's called. I really love this place because it's a coffee shop and vinyl shop in the morning, but then it becomes a bar. But it also has a art gallery space.
Oh wow!
So they're always doing
everything.
Yeah, they're always doing like very community and art based and music forward events, and it just made sense to do it here. Thankfully, they love the project, so they also wanted to help us out. So it's Selva, Bushwick, May 23rd from 5 to 9. It's completely free. If you go to our Instagram, you will see there the flyer, and you will see the link to the Eventbrite, so that way you can just RSVP, and we'll see you there. Yeah.
Love. Thank you so much,
No,
Victor.
thank you.
I'm so happy.
Thank
yes,
you.
we love